Hello and welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, P.I. McLeod, and we're here to crash a Titan, but I want to go over something real quick. Hey John, good to see you. That isn't the thing I wanted to go over real quick. So as you guys already know, there's a couple things that happened recently in the game. I'm sure you've been enjoying this short little extra event we have, the Magical Girl event. Reptil, yay. I'm gonna assume that's nothing to do with this. This Magical Girl event is to help us get that new costume that the community, that means all of us, collectively, democratically voted on and got, okay? I'm not going to argue whether I do or do not want this costume. That's not the point. If you want this free costume, you're supposed to complete and beat this lady up to 5 times, twice per day to get it done. I already did it on mine. That's all good and done. What I'm here to actually state is that there's these daily quests that we had. If you notice, mine's not there anymore. That's because I did them. There was a daily event today that said complete it with non-humans. Do 15 non-human wins. And there was a big problem that we had where it wasn't logging for anyone. And I don't know if the fix just came in recently to make it work, but I got mine to work. And I'm just going to tell you what I did to help you out. First off, I didn't do it in PvE. I did it in Versus. I don't know why, but something rattled around in my lizard brain and said, well, try something else. I went to just regular old Power Season Shield, and I also did some lightning rounds just to break it up a little bit. But went in there and started playing around with teams that, you know, are go-to meta teams. So well, this is one of them right here. Beta Ray Bill is a non-human. It's literally in the affiliation. So Beta Ray Bill wins would count for that victory. And I started getting them. They started racking up nice and easy. In the lightning rounds, I was just throwing in every non-human I could. If you want to figure out who counts for this, here, go into a fight. Don't forget we have a filter. Do you see that search roster? I'm going to click it right now. Touchy, right there. You can click non-human. Hit check mark. Go click on the filter button and go down to the bottom. Don't search by name, search by affiliation. There you go. These are all the non-humans in the game. Hela, Null, Beta Ray Bill, Hitmonkey, Heimdall, obviously Goose. Loki's a non-human. He may look human, but he's Asgardian. Don't forget that stuff. Adam Warlock's a non-human. You have lots of options at your disposal to get your non-human wins in. So go ahead, get to it. You could totally get this done. Just remember that, well, I don't know if PvE counts or not. That might have been a hot fix that just dropped recently. Maybe it is. If you want to confirm it, you can drop it down in the comments. That's great. But it worked for me in PvP. I got my 15 wins in. And yeah, that's where we're at. Anyways, I hope that helps some of you get this done if you haven't gotten it done already. That said, let's go back to the Crash the Titans, because that's what we're here for today, or at least for this moment in time. Crash the Titans, we only got a single node to crash this time. It is against the Rhino. Rhino came into MPQ a few years back. He's not that old to the game, but he's old enough now to where he kind of missed the golden time of new characters being introduced. What I mean by that is there's definitely been characters that were made by the old developers versus made by the current developers. Broken Circle Studios, I believe they're called. The new studios have definitely made their new characters a little more, well, they're more text heavy, but a lot of them hit better and have more effect on the game. I'm not trying to say they're more broken, but the old developers were definitely trying to play within some sort of parameter, some sort of window frame that they had envisioned. And Rhino kind of fit that. He was like a combination of a few characters, but never really quite outstanding at one specific thing. He's kind of like a poor man's 4-star Juggernaut mixed with a poor man's 4-star Sabretooth. So in other words, you have some damage resistance, but only so much, not as much as Juggernaut. You have the ability to punish enemy special tiles like Sabretooth, but actually better because he punishes, protects, and attacks as well. But it doesn't do all that board shake that Sabretooth does. The only good thing over Juggernaut or Sabretooth that he has is that his green can actually do a stun. We've said it before on this channel that people with different colored stuns that aren't blue are kind of fun to have because you can make more rainbow stun teams. And this is one of them. He punishes enemy tiles. He can make enemy tiles with his black, and his green provides a stun. He can be pretty dangerous because he does extra match damage in his colors. And he does extra power damage based on matching enemy tiles, or strike, attack, protect tiles at least. So he's pretty dangerous to go against. Is he anywhere near meta? No, I wouldn't say so in the least. But he is a decent option as a tank that actually gives trouble to special tile creators. Well, at least at the 4-star level. Makes you wonder what a 5-star Ascended Rhino would be like. Anyways, okay, move on. Who we're going to go against Rhino with? Oh, this is why you said Reptil. Why? Why did you... No, I feel like it's your fault, John. You said this. I'm going to take off the boosts. Okay. Reptil is a pretty recent addition to the MPQ roster. He came up last year, and let's see, on paper, it's not a bad, horrible idea of a character. He's like, you know, a shapeshifter, if you will. He is kind of... But he's just a one-trick pony. He has, like, this ability to shape-shift into this dinosaur-looking thing. And, you know what? We're going to start with that power. Reptilian Rampage is his main thing that you want to focus on if you're playing Reptil. For 8 green, he destroys 6 random tiles, and he turns into the mighty Quetzalcoatlus. Quetzalcoatlus? Am I saying it right? I think I am. So, yeah, John, I'm going to get to that. After 5 turns, he reverts back to human form. But wait, there's a lot more going on here. When he's in his Quetzalcoatlus form, or let's just say his dino form, he does 80% extra damage. And that's, you know, a decent thing, but let's be fair. That's no Rhino. That's no Juggernaut. That's no... Shoot, even Talos does better extra match damage with his AP buffs. Anyways, it's extra, so we'll leave it at that. Whenever he makes a match or uses an ability, he deals half of that damage to 2 other random characters. Not enemies, characters. There's only a 15% chance to hit an ally, but it still exists. And shame on the developers for thinking this would ever be a fun feature. Just saying. No one wants a feature that has such catastrophe as a backlash. Like, it'd be one thing to hit your enemy or hit your allies as well, but here's the real salt in the wound. If Reptil damages his allies 2 or more times in this way, he reverts back to human form and is stunned for a turn. I'm just going to let that, you know, kind of sit there. Think about that for a minute. So you use your green ability, your hallmark ability. You're going to go ahead and do extra damage to the enemy team because that's your thing. You spent 8 green on this, and you're going to get some use out of this. And all of a sudden, because RNG hates you, you hit your enemies twice. And if that wasn't punishment enough, then all of a sudden, you're also revert back to human and you're stunned for a turn. This is not a stellar design. I'm usually pretty lenient with things, and I'll try to find the silver lining to the cloud. I'm pretty good at this stuff. That's not a silver lining here. This is pretty, especially for 8 green. No. Moving forward, his red is his Cretaceous Chomp. Basically, it's a 6 red nuke. It does meh damage and converts a random basic red tile into a pretty decent-sized strike tile for the cost. I'll give it that. When he's in his Quetzalcoatlus form, you fortify the tile as well and strengthen it 50% higher. So, I mean, it's not bad. But, yeah, no. Don't forget that any of these powers we're talking about, get boosted by his dino form. So when he does this, he does that 80% extra damage on top of this stuff. I had to take a drink. Ugh. And finally, his Anklo armor. Ugh. 5 yellow, nice and cheap. Yellow tile gets made into a protect tile. Pretty good one for the cost. If he's in that dino form, it gets fortified and empowered by 50% more. By the way, he has this passive that I kind of forget about, and it's, you know, it's not bad, but it definitely doesn't make him worth doesn't make him worthy of your choice. Let's just put it that way. He takes 10% less damage and deals 10% more damage for each Avenger on his team. All supernatural allies deal 25% more damage with matches and abilities. So, I mean, yeah, I guess theoretically, if you include him on your team, your Scarlet Witch, you know, is going to do more damage because she's supernatural. You know, she's also an Avenger, so she gets that buff as well. So that both buffs come into play. So you could theoretically make, you know, some supernatural allies and Avenger allies make this a little better. Is it worth taking your one of 3 spots on your team to really fill out? I don't think so. But this is what we're here for. Reptil gets to fight Rhino. Now let's just run it back real quick. Rhino punishes enemy strike, attack, and protect tiles. So if we cast the red or the yellow, he has a chance of punishing us for it. In other words, don't cast your red or yellow until your green is already cast. You might as well make it worthwhile. Make your green cast, put yourself into dino form, and then let your red and yellow shine at that point. Okay? Let's go. Oh, look, almost forgot. It's a one-on-one fight, so, you know, animation's on. I mean, if we're going to, you know, run this horrible character, we might as well have it look somewhat decent. I guess we'll take some yellow. Definitely want the red. I'd rather take more strikes than more protects. Hi, John. Oh, you went BRB. I didn't even realize you left for a moment. I'm sorry. I was busy blabbing. That's on me, my friend. Excuse me. Oh, there he goes. Rhino might. Oh, I get what they did there. Oh, boy. I need a better... Oh, there we go. There's a good green. Take that. So we can start casting now. You want to see all of his powers? Yay! Okay, here we go. Reptilian Rampage. Yeah, we're a Quetzalcoatlus. Yep, that's what I said. Here's his Crustaceous Chomp. Takes long enough. If for some reason, like, the animation plays, then it has to think about what it just did for a moment. And then here's the Anklo armor, which just shows the amulet. Which, you know, I guess that's cool. Give me this green. If you know, I don't know if you're an eagle eye watcher of this or not, but you might notice the damage is definitely increased a bit, which is good. That's the whole point. Nothing about him is cool. And you are not wrong, my friend. It's, you know, I hate to say that stuff because, you know, maybe in the comics he's neat. Maybe there's like comic book stories where Reptil is a fun character. Maybe he's got funny quips. I don't know. Maybe he's got something else going on. I don't know him. But man, this presentation of him here does not make me ever want to find out. That's the sad truth of it all. You've made it totally uninteresting by making him in such a fashion. I doubt it. Wow. John just didn't give it a chance. Can I blame you? No, I cannot. By the way, this stream is brought to you by being at work. I'm maybe shouldn't be on the clock and doing this, but you know, just don't tell my boss. We're all cool with that, right? Right? Oh, I'm out of my dino form. I can't live without my dino form. Let's get back in that. There we go. I guess I'll match this red. If only he fed Colossus. That is something that Puck definitely has over him. You know what? Maybe after this we should see who he feeds, because I don't remember who he feeds offhand. Watch me someone like crazy and off the wall, like, oh, he feeds Hela. And I'm just like, what? Why? What? Huh? I can just see it. I would need some sort of like hardcore Marvel nerd to jump on here and be like, well, actually. And you're like, okay, thanks. I needed that. Do I need this yellow one? It only does 9. Get out of here. Victor, lame to lame. You know what? I found a fun use for Victor, but it's still way too niche. So I can't even say he's that lame. I mean, he's lame, don't get me wrong. But he loves Polaris. I don't know if you guys have played with Victor with Polaris, but if you can replicate a lot of tiles on the board and get his black cast, it like makes a chain lightning swath through the board, destroying a ton of tiles. It's kind of fun, but the only problem is that his shrapnel is so easily overrideable that getting it to that point is rough. So, you know, back to square one and all that. But it is fun if you get it to work. It's just, you know, it's work. Other than that, no, there's no reason to use them. At least not that I can see on paper. There we go. Reptil beats Rhino, and only because I have Reptil champed. Honestly, I don't see this match being that easy. I wouldn't blame anyone if you're going to go into this fight against Rhino, and let's say your Reptil isn't champed, right? If you need to walk in there against them, you don't have a champed Reptil. I would throw in, obviously, some damage boosts, and throw in an appropriate support. Something to help ease the pain. Now, you could either throw on something like Vibranium Ore, something to like take less damage from his powers, because he will be hitting you with those powers pretty constantly once you get your tiles out there. Or do something like the Power Stone, or something to create extra damage possibilities going in. Like maybe Hellfire Club, but it can actually do both. Hellfire Club can do defense and offense depending on... I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the Deadpool. My apologies. The Deadpool does damage up for you if you're more health than him, or defense for you if you're lower health for him. Stuff like that could definitely help. Anyways. There we go. Done and done. And that might be it. I think that's it for me on this one. So Victor needs arguably the best player in the game to be marginally useful. Yeah, John. Yeah. I can't sugarcoat it any other way. I wasn't basing it on Polaris's damage output. It was just based on having a ton of special tiles out there. And Polaris does that, but okay. I guess that's one way of looking at it. I mean, you could theoretically do it with Magic's repeaters, or... Yeah, who am I kidding? You get the point. You just have to have a lot of special tiles out there to really make it fun. But, I mean, that again is the entire problem, really. Because Victor requires so many special tiles. And where's he at? He's in here somewhere. Is he really down this low? I thought I had more covers for him. Not on purpose, obviously. Victor. Oh, there he is. Wow. Yeah. It's this black. I mean, that's what I thought was kind of fun. It does damage to enemy team. Bleh. Creates some shrapnel tiles. Okay. But you need 10 or more shrapnels on the board. And that's the problem. Those shrapnels are just as flimsy as trap tiles, but less useful. For 5 black, you destroy a shrapnel. Select a shrapnel tile, destroy it, then destroy the closest shrapnel or special tile within 3 tiles. Repeat it until a valid tile can be found. Shrapnel tiles targeted deal 200% extra damage. When the ability is used, if there are less than 7 shrapnels on the board, the ability goes back to its old style. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of tile destruction. I mentioned Polaris not just because it's a lot of tiles that you need to have fun with this, but also because the thought that when you destroy said tiles, obviously she's going to recreate a ton of them on the board. I guess theoretically, if you just want to do a tile destruction fun, you could use 5-star Kamala Khan as well, but that's just me thinking out loud. Victory Barrage does a lot of damage for what it's worth, but I'm not going to try to sing to you Victor Mancha's praises. He's not that good. I could find more uses for him than I could for Reptil. How about that? Maybe that's the takeaway from this. And that's not saying much. 3-star Storm? Yeah, that's not bad. You'd use her black. But, I mean, obviously, if you're using her black, he needs black to fire it off. So, you know, conundrums. Anyways. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I should probably get back on the computer, you know, back to work. Thank you very much for joining me, John. And that was Reptil's Crash of the Titans. I will see you all really, really soon. Have a good one. Later.